confident. Never mistake it for cocky.
Hey guys, welcome back to In the Alley. My name is Cody, and today we are going to be previewing the Sunday afternoon matchups between the Arizona Rattlers and the Bay Area Panthers, as well as the Jacksonville Sharks traveling to Vegas for the first time in franchise history. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and take the preview card, pop it up here, and we will preview both of these games. Both of them start at 5:05 Central Time on YouTube and Caffeine TV, except the Vegas game. The Vegas game is going to be on YouTube only. I think if Todd Tryon said that right on his Inside the IFL episode this past week. So ignore the Caffeine TV on the Vegas one. Either way, both games start at 5:05. You can watch them on YouTube. We'll start off with Arizona and Bay Area. Bay Area favored by 1.5 at home. Money line is pretty much a pick 'em, so take your pick on who you want. And the over-under is 88.5, so they are expecting some points in this one. Bay Area has not played a game. They're going to raise their championship banner, and Arizona has already played 2. So, a little bit of chemistry built, albeit 3 quarterbacks have already been used by the Rattlers. Lorenzo Brown, 120 yards passing with 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He came in relief of Garrett Kettle last week when they played Vegas. Shannon Brooks, 79 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. Glenn Gibbons Jr., 6 receptions, 84 yards, 2 touchdowns. Obviously, no stats for Bay Area. They have not played a game. Players to watch for each team. For Arizona, I have Glenn Gibbons Jr. and Dylan Winfrey. Again, 6 receptions, 84 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Gibbons. He's kind of been the guy to go to for Arizona this season. Dylan Winfrey, 8.5 tackles, 1 interception, and 2 pass breakups on the year. They have been very, very good to start. They just, Arizona as a whole, I guess I should say, they just have not been able to, I guess, put a full game together. I mean, they kind of let Northern Arizona stick around until they eventually pulled away, and Vegas just ran all over them. So, question I have here is, who's starting? Lorenzo Brown get his first start, or are they going to go back to Garrett Kettle? How do they stop the running game? Simple as that. How do they stop a running quarterback? You've got another one in DeQuan Neal, who we'll talk about here in a second. That's going to be tough. Things I have for Bay Area, you've already seen this team play 2 games. Is that an advantage? It's kind of like Tucson, and we'll talk about San Antonio tomorrow, but you've already seen a team play 2 games. You've seen their defense get exploited. Can you keep doing that? Can Arizona stop that? How is this Bay Area team going to look as we start off? So for the Panthers, I've got quarterback DeQuan Neal. Like I said, he's going to be a dual threat guy. He has been around the league for a while. He was at Tucson. He knows Arizona, Kevin Guy, pretty well. I look for him even more so to run the ball and see if Arizona can stop it. Defensively for Bay Area, I've got Tavon Grant. You got to get this defense to get after Lorenzo Brown and really disrupt that timing. I know I say it damn near in every preview, but disrupting those timing routes, getting after the quarterback, forcing them to scramble, forcing them to use their legs and move the pocket, get out of the pocket, really rush after them, and just get after the running game. Those are keys to winning. Every defense needs to do it. Some defenses more often than not are able to do it, obviously, better. Bay Area, Rob Keefe, they know how to do it. Can they do it again? Series history, 3-1 in favor of Arizona, with the last meeting, being Week 13 at Arizona, 70-63, Rattlers won. Let's move on. Preview number 2, Jacksonville at Vegas. 0-1 Jacksonville, 1-0 Vegas. And it is almost a touchdown favorite for the Nighthawks here, as Jacksonville has to travel back-to-back weeks. Favored money line for Vegas, and over-under is at 80. Yeah, okay, 80. It looked like 89 as well. Over-under of 80.5. Again, stats-wise, Vegas, they came out and just kind of dominated that game against Arizona, going, punch for punch. Jerome Johnson, 179 yards, 3 touchdowns. 116 yards on the ground, another 3 touchdowns. And Quentin Randolph, 4 receptions for 90 yards and a touchdown. Question I have for Jacksonville is, what are you going to do to rebound from that game against Massachusetts? You have to go on the road again. This Vegas team has a lot of momentum going their way. Is this team going to be able to Jacksonville, should probably call the teams by their names. Is Jacksonville going to be able to overcome another road trip all the way across the country in order to stop a team that has so much confidence right now and so much, so many things clicking for them offensively and defensively for some of it? I really am curious to see how Jacksonville responds this week. Players to watch for the Sharks. I've got wide receiver Cameron Solomon. He didn't play last week. He had a personal matter. I look for him to be in the lineup this week. Hopefully he's one of those wide receivers along with Tamari and Terry and Brian Smith that can really help out the passing game. Connor Blunt needs to take those, turnovers and everything from last week, erase them from his mind, get this offense going, get Logan Wright running, and really get this offense into gear. You've got a tough opponent. You've got to do it here. Defensively, Harrison Poole. Harrison Poole was very, very good last week for the Sharks. 9 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, and 2 pass breakups. He was really good against Massachusetts offense. They held him to 26 points. They just couldn't score points on their own. Turnovers kind of doomed them. Jacksonville looks to erase all of that. Harrison Poole, if he can shut down Quentin Randolph, if he can shut down Caleb Hawley, and you've got Jabari Gorman back there as well, if you can get these defenders to shut down Vegas's wide receivers and try and make sure that it's just Jerome Johnson, you might have a chance at winning this game. Simple as that. I'm not calling the game for Vegas. I'm not calling the game for Jacksonville. You just have to make sure that your defense can easily shut this down. I look forward to seeing how well these 2 defensive backs, along with Caleb Ham, along with, that defensive front, I look to see how well Jacksonville can really go up against this Vegas offense. So, I don't know if it's a one-game fluke. That's my thing. I don't know if it's a one-game fluke for Vegas or if this is their trend. So I will be looking to see how that offense goes for Vegas, if their defense can force more turnovers. How do the Nighthawks go into their second game of the season? They had 7 tackles for a loss and 4 sacks last week. I think Vegas could be getting after Jacksonville if that offense cannot get going. There's really no serious history. You see it right there. First ever meeting between the 2 teams. Those are the previews that we have right now. Let's go check out the 25-man rosters, bets, and then we will go talk to Aaron. All right, so 25-man roster popping up here, and we'll talk about Bay Area at the very end, but for the other 3 teams, those are your 25-man rosters when it comes to who started in the game their last game last week, whatever the case could be. So when you look at those rosters, again, nothing is set in stone. Dalton Snead is day to day. When you look at the Arizona side, is he going to play? Not sure. Isaiah Huff, I believe, was in the season opener. He didn't play last week. Are they going to alternate that stuff? Not necessarily sure. Jacksonville, Cam Solomon, I look for him to be inserted into that starting lineup. I don't know who they take out. Vegas, they could honestly just kind of run it back with their roster. Finally, Bay Area, they have not set anything on their website. That is, I believe, their entire 40-man training camp roster. They've obviously got to pare that down to 25 or whoever they're throwing on injured reserve or the practice squad or whatever the case could be. So we'll see who starts for them when the game goes. Obviously, they do have players that are re-signed, like Felix Harper, Tavon Grant. I'm not going to name them all. You see them here. And, really curious to see who all gets the start, what rookies they're going to go with. And those are your 25-man rosters for this Sunday. Let's go look at our bets. We'll go talk to Aaron, and we will get on out of here. All right, best bets. Money line. I'm a little scared. I'm not going to lie to you. You've seen the bets if you're watching these videos. I'm a little scared of the spreads. I think Vegas is trying to overcorrect with some of their things. I think the overs might be hitting a little bit this week. Not necessarily certain on the spreads, so I'm just kind of taking money lines. Plus, hey, Frisco burned me, so I'm not going to do spreads right now. I'm just taking money lines. I've got Bay Area and I've got Vegas going on this one. I think Bay Area at home with, raising the banner. They've re-signed quite a bit of their players. They still have Rob Keefe, Dixie Wooten. You don't know who's starting for Arizona. I'm not saying Arizona's reeling or that they're in panic mode or anything. I just think Bay Area might be ready to go. They might be chomping at the bit here to really get after it. As for Vegas, that's a pretty juiced line to the Nighthawks. Jacksonville could keep it close. I do think Jacksonville could keep it close. They did it at Massachusetts. Can they do it this week? I think, like I said, if Cam Solomon is playing, I think that offense could get right. I would not be surprised if Jacksonville wins. I just think Vegas has just a lot of firepower right now. They are firing on all cylinders right out of the gate. If they can keep up that momentum, even what I said in their preview, where their first, 6 games or something were just brutal, Vegas could shock, well, at least they could shock me with my expectations. They could shock the Indoor Football League if they keep winning the way that they did last week. So, or at least play like they did last week. They wanted a game winner, so they don't want to get game-winning field goals every week. But if they play as well as they did last week, look for them to win quite a few games. But those are my best bets. Let's go talk to Aaron, see what he has to say about the games. We'll take off. It's Aaron's IFL Corner. Aaron, pop up down here. As usual, check out his article on the UFL News Hub if you have not done so. He previews all of the games every single week. I read them and paraphrase them right here for you. And yeah, we make predictions, and that's the whole premise of my preview videos. You get it. Anyway, got the trusty paper here. Let's talk about Arizona at Bay Area. SAP Center in San Jose, California. Arizona Rattlers travel to Bay Area with a third quarterback on the roster. They started Dalton Sneed in the season opener, but Garrett Kettle started last week against Vegas, only to have Lorenzo Brown come in the second half. According to the IFL coaches poll, the Panthers are still considered to be the best team in the Indoor Football League after winning the championship last year. The Wranglers feature IFL veteran quarterback Daquan Neal on offense and a loaded defense. He said Wranglers, it's supposed to be Panthers. He's never played for the Wranglers, but Sugar Skulls, another Arizona team. I gotcha. Can Bay Area get a good start and get a key home win against Arizona to start their year? Arizona has had a week to figure out their quarterback situation. They bring an effective running game and an aggressive defense. Panthers have yet to play a game, so they will need to establish themselves on both sides of the ball early. His prediction for this game is an upset special. And I mean upset, they've got Arizona, or they got Bay Area favored by -1.5, but boom, 42-37, Arizona. He thinks it's a get-right game. I think he's got, if our minds are thinking the same way, Lorenzo Brown has another week to practice, learn the playbook, get after it. The defense is still there, obviously getting better as the games go along, trying to shut down running quarterbacks. He's got it 42-37. As for me, pretty much just flip-flop the scores here, 41-38. I've got Bay Area winning a close one myself. Like I said, I just think banner-raising ceremony at home. I know the Rattlers want to spoil it. I just think that Bay Area probably gets the better of them. It's a close, tight, contested game, back and forth. Another heartbreak just like Vegas last week for the Rattlers. So that's where we're at. Let's move on to preview number 2, Jacksonville at Vegas. We are at the Dollar Loan Center in Henderson, Nevada, home of the Vegas Nighthawks. And we're going to be talking a little bit about both teams. The transition for teams moving to the NAL to the IFL tends to take a few weeks. Jacksonville has struggled to produce yards and points in Massachusetts in its first game of the season. Defensively, they've played a solid game, including an interception for a touchdown. Vegas could be the surprise team of the Indoor Football League. Jerome Johnson has put the Nighthawks offense on his back and has found ways to avoid the Rattlers' pressure while using his arm and his legs last week against Arizona. Vegas' defense will need to come ready to play their best football as the Sharks' offense can find its rhythm at any given time and be explosive in any given week. With an IFL game under their belt, the Sharks should show significant improvement on offense. If the Sharks' defense can find a way to shut down Jerome Johnson, they will have a chance to pull off the upset. This game is an opportunity for Vegas to show that their first win was not a fluke and that they are a championship caliber team. Aaron's prediction, 40-32 Vegas. I'm right along with him. 45-34. I've got Vegas, albeit by a little bit more. I just think Vegas at home, like I've said, is confident. The confidence of Vegas being built the way that they won on a game-winning field goal. Jacksonville's still trying to figure some stuff out. Don't be surprised if Jacksonville wins, though. That's all I'm going to say. Don't be surprised if Jacksonville wins. I just think Vegas is probably the better team in this regard. But those are our predictions. That's our preview. We're going to get on out of here. You know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. You know all that stuff. That being said, I'm going to take off here. Let's go watch the games. Enjoy your Sunday. Happy Easter. And with that being said, see ya.